We've all been there. It's late at night. Your squad left hours ago. You're doing a little inventory management, a little upkeep, a little late night grinding to surprise the boys when they wake up, but then disaster strikes. My goal of this video is to show you what it looks like to be raided by multiple people while you're online, alone, to walk you through my thought process on defending our base, and to highlight the 40,000 mistakes that I made so hopefully you don't ever make them, because one cool thing about recording all the dumb things you do is you can learn from them, which is, it's fun, right? Right? Alright, let's relive that pain so I can feel it all over again. Okay, so I heard something go bump in the night, but it's the day and someone was smacking around my base. Not weird by itself, but the amount of footsteps I'm hearing combined with the smacking are certainly not a good sign. Since I'm alone, I immediately went into base defense mode and I started making shotgun traps, spamming the Discord. You don't know how fast it's going to be when it all shakes out. One thing right off the bat that I would consider a huge mistake in most of my runs: you get up and running and you're so focused on getting stuff, you ignore keeping the stuff that you get. In the few successes that I have had, we focus on building an airtight base with an online defense and then going out to get more. But no point bringing it all back to a place that isn't defendable. I spam some beds in case I need to spawn quite a bit. In my head here, I'm assuming they're probing my base right now. With no compound, they're just freely walking around, deciding the most efficient place to raid, which is what I assumed at the time, and I didn't know yet. If you have a bunch of stuff, compound your base, put turrets up. If anything, it gives you a really good warning before you get your teeth kicked in. I start to move some of our loot to core since that's the toughest to get into, and since I heard them on the roof, I just start spam upgrading and hoping and praying that they'll just kind of leave, because there is a dude online and it might be too much trouble at this point if he's upgrading everything. If you have the resources to do it, because you might lose it to the people raiding you anyway. This did not dissuade them, and they continued to smack at something, not sure what yet. But I hear that it's a spear, and I'm pretty confused, because, good lord, if they're going to go through the metal with the spear, it's going to take a while. So let's get a little weird and go on the offensive. Now, they were ready for me, obviously, but I gave them a little going away present, and I learned that they were indeed trying to get through the metal, which, even with tools, is insane. And I found out that there's at least for sure 3 of them at this point. As I kind of put the data together, I'm now questioning why they aren't just using their boom if they have it, or if they're just playing it slow to see if they can go deep from the door I just opened. I dropped my stuff off and F1 killed so I could see from the outside what they were doing since I had a bag nearby. Now I need to keep a mental note that another door is open. Hindsight, definitely should shoot at the guy with the gun, not the naked. I did end up snooping around and finding where they were trying to break through, which was honestly just as confusing to me. I pulled some James Bond shit to close my front door and I was safe for the moment, or so I thought I was. You can see that I'm checking and clearing, but you know, sometimes you find a good spot, and I went down. But at least it meant they were stuck in there because I closed both doors. So I spent a little bit of free time that I had putting embrasures up and another auto turret on the roof to prevent a top down. But then the rockets started. Have I mentioned how much it sucks being a solo when your base is getting raided? I grabbed a level 3 workbench, started stashing stuff in core to minimize damage, a move that I didn't understand how valuable was at the time. Oh, and here's another oopsie. I didn't even see the guy out here that shot me, and the door was left wide open because I was too focused on the ground to realize that, okay, now there's a counter. At this point, I realized that the raiders are so deep in my base that the beds and bags are gone, and my only spawn is outside. And it's at this point that I ran into the people who were countering this raid. Unfortunately, you couldn't pick up my audio, but these guys were absolute legends. They saved my base, probably my wipe. They didn't kill them, but they scared them off. They gave me a kit, sent me on my way to salvage what was left in my base, and prayed that they didn't come back.
I mean, we don't need to call you, man.
But of course they did. Holy shit, look how close they got to core. I got some metal doors down right before round 2. I grabbed my T3 and prepared myself for another hour of pain. I went to check upstairs, and to this day, I have no clue what this man was doing or thinking or anything. For them, the raid was over at this point. I resealed for the 3rd time and got their launcher, and I'm fairly certain this was enough early on in the wipe for them to be out of boom. All in all, availability is really the reason that our wipe wasn't over at this point, because I was still online late at night when they attempted to offline us, but ended up onlining us. I did get a chance to save our base and succeeded. Thankfully, the people came when they did and moved them around, but through wasting the time and boom that they had, we basically got our, we got to keep playing the wipe and use our base. This is just a little solo video on a raid defense that I thought would be cool for you guys to watch. If you enjoyed it, definitely like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Got some cool stuff planned. Peace.